Welcome to The Creative Present, a show that's dedicated to expanding your creative self-expression and at the same time, getting your projects done. And I'm your host, Joshua Townsend. In the art world, people think of your body of work. So in the graphic arts or the visual arts, painting, sometimes even in the musical world, and the musicians, we think of a body of work. And if we really look at or really hear that, it's called a body of work. A body, a whole body. And when we're looking at a whole body of work, we're looking at the entirety. We're looking at larger themes, if you will, play out within someone's development or expression of their artistic creative endeavors. And so we look at different artists and we say, oh, that's the blue period, or that's the white period, or that's the white album. We look at different phases of development that the artist went through in exploring their larger body of work. And a lot of times we leave out the storyteller or the actor or the writer for screenplays, people that are in digital media or any kind of recorded mediums. And I want to expand that body of work into those fields as well. And I don't want to limit the body of work to just the actual work that's actually produced, but actually the entirety of the life. So what I mean by that is, my art in life, my life in art. So when I start looking at someone's work in a larger context, I start to see different themes. I start to see different areas of development that they're working on. And if I allow that kind of width and depth in terms of my exploration of any kind of art, especially the work that we're doing together right now, we start to look at why this project is coming up for us now. And if we want to go even deeper, I would say it's not only me, myself, my own personal interest, but it's also part of my root system. It's part of the roots of what it is I'm trying to work out in this time period. And then you could say, well, it's not only me, but it's also the collective. So it's the collective of all the people that I've ever encountered in my day-to-day life. And it's the zeitgeist of a certain time frame, either a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year generational cycles. And you could even say, well, it's even part of your ancestral lineage in terms of your mother and father and what their hopes and dreams and fears and secrets were and how that influenced who you are today. And we could just go deeper and deeper and deeper. So when I talk about someone's body of work and the tentacles, the way that it spreads and goes into other areas, the root system that it goes into in terms of going in for deeper and deeper and decades, we start to look at it a larger context. And within that, I feel that we can actually become more allowing, more interested in the depth. And when I say depth, I mean going actually vertical. See, when people talk about living in the now, they're actually talking about vertical time, because vertical time is actually where we live. Vertical meaning up and down, right? So vertical time is now, and it's a series of nownesses, and that nowness keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. When we go to school, when we think about a timeline, when we think about, oh, this began in 1900 and this ended in the year 2000, we go left to right. Yeah? And that is a horizontal line. So when we're going along a horizontal line, we're looking at left to right. We're looking at going across a certain amount of time in order to get to some imaginary future or some sort of finish line. So we always think about, we start on the left and we end on the right. So we're measuring things. We're measuring in the stock market. We measure that. In the beginning is the sunrise and at the end is the sunset. And we have that sense of pressure or time because we don't want to run out of our timeline. Now here's the analogy that I use. And I feel like it captures something very helpful. If I want to create a vehicle that goes from left to right on a linear line, and I want to go 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, it's pretty inexpensive because I can get in a car, or I can even get in a push bike or something, and go left to right, and I can go along a road, and I can go 5 blocks. in this car. And that car could be anywhere from $5,000 to $500,000. Yeah. But a $500 car or a $5,000 car would do just as good of a job getting me those 5 blocks in terms of just the basics of getting you from point A to point B. Now, let's go the other way. If we go vertical, and I want to go vertical 5 blocks up, do you know how challenging that is? Do you know how expensive that is? If I want to go vertical, I have to get an elevator, I have to get machinery, and that machinery is going to be incredibly expensive because I'm going against the gravitational pull. I'm going up. If I wanted to dig down 5 blocks, do you know how expensive that would be? I'd have to get earth removing equipment. I'd have to get diggers. I have to remove all this dirt, all this stuff. So I want you to appreciate that when you go for depth of entry, when you go for going deep into your projects, when you really drill down into the moment to find out the truth of the truth of the truth, it's really an exceptional thing that you're doing. You're going against the mainstream of just getting it done. You know, that phrase, get her done. And this is not to say it's not important to get things done, because it is. But if our whole life is built on beginning, middle, end, and we don't go for vertical time, which is why the arts are so compelling. That's why people go into the arts, because we want to have this experience of going beyond time and space. And when you're in vertical time, you go beyond time and space. That's why when you're in a really great movie and you're just like swept away with the whole thing, and then all of a sudden it's over, you're like, oh my God, that was an hour and a half, that was 2 hours, that was amazing. Or the same thing at a concert. You just never want it to end because you're just so present, you're so much in vertical time. So let's bring it back to the body of work, because when I go back into the body of work and I start connecting all these vertical time moments, and I start to see the larger pattern emerge from what it is that I'm really working on, that will give me so much depth, so much access, and at the same time, so much freedom. So my invitation to you today is to go out there and take a look at the body of work that you've put together. And I don't mean just your writing projects, your acting projects, your directing projects, your voiceovers, your films, your plays. I mean space that you've created in your homes, the holidays that you've been on, the relationships that you've had, and what kind of energetic themes or opportunities or challenges have come up in all of those. And take a look at that and see how one thing has helped to inform the other and vice versa, and allow all of that to be there to help inform you of your next vision, of your next project, or the next thing that you want to create. Yeah, and then come back and let me know how your body of work is going. Thank you for listening. If you love what you're listening to, please subscribe and then share with fellow creatives. For more, go to joshuatownsend.com.